talking to next?
Next, we have, let's see, it is Linda. She's going to talk about spices and cooking and going to different markets, I guess. She's kind of gotten interested in making it part of her journeys and travels.
Okay,
So
do you
sounds
want to
really
do
interesting.
the introduction this time? Because I've been doing
Oh,
them.
okay. Yeah, that's fine.
To you. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna do that. And okay, so do you know some of the places that she's gone?
No, I don't, but let's see. She says she has over 1,000 cookbooks. I don't recall if did she give us a website? Because you're right, it'd be really interesting if there are certain places.
Well, there's a couple. There's this, I know in Africa, Zanzibar, there's a spice island, and I had wanted to go there. At one point, it was
Oh,
on my list, and that was because I had read this book that I picked up at the Metropolitan Museum in New York called Colors, and it's all about the history of color.
oh,
Which
wow. Oh,
it's
nice.
an amazing book. And it's, like indigo, like colors actually come from natural products and how paints got their colors and where they came from. And this island is very famous for having some very rich resources for painting and for people who do that kind of thing. So it's pretty fascinating. So I had added that location on my list when I
Oh,
read
yeah.
it. I think it's called uh,
Yeah, the name of the book or something. That sounds fabulous. I know
Zanzibar.
like when
Zanzibar is the name of the island, and it's off Tanzania, and that I think it's still Indian. It's in the Indian Ocean, and I'm pretty sure historic trade center. Yeah, it was pretty well known for like spices and where you could get things like okra, which okra is like an earthy yellow color. And so one of the things that I learned in that book is that that's one of the ways they can tell the ages of paintings is based
oh,
on the colors that are being used. So certain color and like where they were painted, because certain colors wouldn't be available to certain people. Also based on like their economic class and all of this stuff. Like you couldn't
right.
get
Oh, yeah.
colors. Yeah,
Right.
right.
You
And
couldn't
so
get pigment, right.
right, you couldn't get certain pigments. So it was very fascinating book. I'm pretty sure I'm going to look it up really quick. I'm sure the book is called Colors. And, I just picked it up as, like it was just
Oh, it sounds
fascinating.
fascinating. Yeah, that sounds like an
Um,
amazing one.
and so there it is. It's called Color is the name of the book. And I'll just grab if I
Yeah,
can.
you should go ahead and grab that.
Um,
That sounds really interesting.
and I think don't show that. The Natural History of the Palette is the name of it. Um, yeah, I can here because we're on Zoom and other people can see this, I can share my screen and show you the
Oh, yeah,
cover
yeah.
of
Right.
the book. Right. So this is the cover of the book. So this of course like caught my eye.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Right.
Right. And so it's like, oh, I need, and so I like to buy books as a like
Yeah.
as a instead of a souvenir.
Right. Oh, I do
Was
too.
yeah
Right.
what I got there, and so that inspired me to want to go to Zanzibar.
Oh, that
It's
sounds
funny how
incredible.
what um what things inspire you to go to places, right? And
Right. Exactly.
we talk,
Right.
yeah,
Is it like right? Is it certain foods? Is it certain artists or writers or exactly?
and you just have to like either hear a story like some of these that we hear on our show, or somebody has to tell you something, or you see a movie, or sometimes it's just a picture, like you see a photograph and you're like, I need to go stand there.
Right. Exactly. That's totally, yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't need to be anything else other than that, and that's where our inspiration for places and you discover new places, you look at it and you think, how do I find it, where is it?
Where can I go to get that? Where does that exist? Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it'd be good to listen to Linda talk about the places that I'm anxious to hear, like where she's been and like where she wants to go, like how she picks places, like what kinds of uh,
Right. Yeah.
things are on her mind. Because we talk about travel for food, right? But
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
this is a bit different.
Right, right. No, and I just remember like Catherine, who we both know, she went to Morocco and just walking through those markets, like you said, there's just these big bags and, large quantities of spices that we just don't, most of us don't see that kind of way of selling spices and seeing like, or just the pieces of plants that they're using that then you're going to mash down and make into a spice. And it's just full of colors and
Yeah,
just
flavor.
delightful.
Okay, well, I hopefully we'll get to talk to her soon. Let's see if she comes in.
Thanks for joining us. Today, we are talking with Linda, who wishes she could speak Yiddish and live in a charming walkabout city and name her house the Welcome Inn. She once ate tongue and can pick up small items with her toes. She believes every meal should be memorable. She owns over 1,000 cookbooks, but rarely follows a recipe. Her travel advice is go with an open mind, appreciate the culture, lifestyle, foods of your destination, be open to meeting locals and savoring as much as you can. Today, she's sharing about her travels to sample the flavor of the local culture. Welcome, Linda.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome. That's so awesome. So we're going to start our infamous 7-minute timer. And I'm just going to ask what I've been thinking. What do you mean you travel for the local flavor? What does that mean? And tell us a little bit about how that works. I'm so intrigued.
When I travel, I like to pick a place that I haven't been to before and really feel what it's like to live there. So even on the plane, as I'm going to get there, if I can see somebody that might be somebody local, I'll say, I'm going to fill in the blank. What do you like to eat there? What's a good place to go to? I try to go to things that are off the beaten path or not necessarily places where tourists would go to, because I really do want to experience the smells, the taste, the flavor, and the culture of where I go.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's everything. That's amazing. That's wonderful. Just like we like. So have you always been interested in foods and flavors? Was there a first time experience where you went to a city and this all kind of gelled and came together?
I was always into food and different flavors, and I'm very open to experimenting. So when I would go to a place, it was just my natural curiosity. And if there was a spice market or a farmer's market, or I actually have even gone into local grocery stores and I look and see what's on the shelves and I'll pick up something. And if there's a shopper next to me, I'll say, what do you do with this? I do this where I live too. I mean, I'm just curious and I really want to expand my palate, expand my exposure to new things.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. Do you have a like a unique flavor or meal? Can you tell us about something super special that you had tried? I'm sure there's lots.
I'll tell you a unique experience I had with a meal. I can't tell you what the flavors were, but one time I was traveling in Turkey by myself and I got befriended by local rug merchants because there's lots of rug merchants in Turkey. And one of them invited me back to his parents' house so I could experience a local meal. And I had zero idea of what to expect. And I was a real novelty at the time. It was a single woman traveling by herself in Turkey. And both this gentleman and his family and his parents all dressed up and made me this fabulous meal, multi-courses. And it was an amazing experience. So I couldn't tell you today what I ate, but it was one of the best dining experiences I've ever had.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that sounds amazing and fabulous. So that was just a rug merchant. So are there other ways you connect with the locals to seek out these little farmers markets or, local grocery stores as such? Because a lot of that's not going to be in a guidebook. So
it's not going to be in a guidebook and you have to be willing to speak with people. And I like to either travel before I was married, I like to travel by myself. But even when I travel with family, I still like to have me time because sometimes what I want to do is not necessarily what the person that I'm traveling wants to do. And if you respect each other's time, then you can really make it work for you. So I will go ask people, where do you eat? Where do you shop? What do you do? I'll go into the spice markets and I'll say, and it doesn't matter whether you speak the language or not, because you can hold up something, you can smell something, you can ask them to describe what they would do with it, how they would cook it. You could ask the person shopping next to you, what are you going to do with that? And you get ideas that way as well.
That's great. Is there something that you're searching for? Is there a certain flavor or food that you can't wait to try that you haven't managed to get to yet?
Anything I haven't experienced. I try not to go with any preconceived notions, because then you're limiting yourself to possibility.
Yeah.
So, you can look at the beauty. If you go to a spice market, you can see colors that are amazing and spice blends that you have no idea what to do with. I will give a little bit of advice though. So when I was in a spice market in Turkey, I bought bags and bags of wonderful stuff. Silly me, I forgot to label them. And I wouldn't have to label them of what they were called, because I probably couldn't spell it anyway. But I should have put something on it like fish seasoning. So I've learned my lesson, and I try to, now I can jot down notes so I have an idea of what it was. But there's nothing wrong with wetting your finger, putting your finger in the bag, tasting what it is, and say, what can I put it on?
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. So I know you've traveled many, many places, had some amazing meals. Do you have some favorites that you think people really enjoy, or you would suggest for people to go to?
Well, if you're looking for spice markets, I'd have to say my top 3 are pretty well known. There's a major spice market in Jerusalem that's just fabulous. All kinds of sights, smells, sounds. And at night, when they close down the markets, they have jazz music in the streets there. So it's a fabulous experience, whether you're going there for the food or not. And I should also say, don't be afraid to ask for a taste of something, because most people are very proud of what they have and they're willing to give you a taste. And then odds are you're going to end up buying it. So the markets in Jerusalem are great. The Spice Bazaar in Turkey, crazy. The Spice Bazaar in Marrakesh, cobras and all. It's totally different experience.
That's now I have a whole list of things, and I always think about that, about what I'm going to eat and what flavors I'm going to taste. So do you have any idea of where you want to go next? Do you have any plans, anything on the books there, Linda?
I don't have it on the books right now, but my next adventure is probably going to be in Southeast Asia somewhere, because I really haven't had a chance to explore that neck of the woods. Okay. And it's so different from anything that I've experienced. So I think that would be really great.
Oh, are you thinking about Vietnam?
Vietnam, absolutely. Thailand, Singapore.
Yeah, my book club, we just read the book Eating Vietnam.
Oh, I don't know it. Yeah.
Oh, you should pick it up. I think I have it right here. I'm gonna interrupt our
No, it sounds fabulous.
Program. It's called Eating Vietnam. And
wow.
And it is, I was hungry the entire time I ate it, or read it, and the food. And this gentleman is English, and he moved to Vietnam to teach English, and he's there for several years, and he made it his mission to find local places. So the whole book is about his desire to find where families eat, where real people eat, not where tourists eat. But I'm taking over your time. But when you said Southeast Asia, I'm like, oh my God, Vietnam for the food. Please go there for the food.
It's on my list.
Fantastic.
We should ask Linda if you do a lot of home cooking then, besides collecting the spices and all the cookbooks. Is that something you really enjoy doing for your own family?
I actually teach cooking for a living. Okay. And I teach people how to start with the recipe, but learn how to adapt it and make it your own, and not be afraid of trying different flavors when you cook.
Oh, well, we might have more things to talk to you about, Linda. So that's so exciting. Well, that was our 7 minutes, of course, and I hijacked the last few minutes, so I'm so sorry about that. But thank you, Linda, for sharing your story. And we'll put some stuff in our show notes so people can find out more about what you have to share and learn some stuff from you. That'd be fantastic. And thanks, everybody, and travel with us through real stories from real people.
Thanks so much for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.